They say the art and the literature of a culture often make a statement about what's going on in a particular time period. However, your Afro American Negro just doesn't look at the art and the literature because he just doesn't value it. However, when one examines the art and the literature of black culture today, there's a clear statement being made by the Afro American Negro woman regarding how she feels about this Afro American Negro man. Now, when you look at all these images I'm presenting to you in this video, these are books that have been written by black women for black women and are making a statement about how many Afro American Negro women feel about this Afro American Negro man. And she's basically saying, in her own way, she is ready to eliminate this Afro American Negro man from the picture of her life. And this is what she is saying by writing all of these swirl books, these interracial romance books, and making a statement pretty much that she is pretty much getting ready to move past this Afro American Negro. But your Afro American Negro, unfortunately, because he lacks critical thinking skills, reasoning skills, and just can't see the subtle politics transpiring around him, can't see that his woman is pretty much moved past him. And she has moved on and is making a powerful statement about moving on from him. She looks at him and says, this Negro is not going to grow past a certain point. He is stuck in a mental state of arrested development where he's at a mental age of about 13 or 14 years old, and he's not going to be able to grow with me. I have nothing in common with him. I have nothing I can share with him. He is pretty much, like a retarded child. He's just going to go around in a circle and come around. So there's nothing she can do with this Afro American Negro but leave him. But in many of these Afro American Negroes, because they are stuck in a state of arrested development and they have this queen complex, they believe that this Afro American Negro woman is some sort of queen. And they believe that the queen is still loyal to them. But again, because they have no critical thinking skills, they can't see that the queen is making plans to leave the kingdom. What many of these Negroes don't understand is that many of your Afro American Negro women are emotionally unavailable. Yes, physically they're there, but mentally and emotionally, they have pretty much checked out from the relationship. And this is why many of these women will go out and work overtime. This is why many of these women will go out and spend time with their friends. This is why they will, spend time putting distance between them and, everybody else. Because they're making plans for a future without this Afro American Negro. And they're saying to themselves, they're just waiting for the right person to come by or the white person to come by to go out and have this relationship with this other person. They're just biding their time with this Negro. They're just waiting for the right guy. And when the right guy comes along, they're pretty much going to go have that relationship with them because they realize that there's nothing else they can do with this Afro American Negro. They look at him and go, there's nothing else they can do with him. And while they're reading these stories on their Kindles and their iPads right beside this Afro American Negro, right in the house with this Afro American Negro, he has no idea and no clue to what's going on. In fact, this Negro is so busy, declaring war or declaring glaze on people online halfway across the country, making stupid and goofy response videos to what he sees on social media, that he can't see that his woman, who's sitting right across from him or sitting in another room, is sitting here with one of these books, dreaming and fantasizing about a white guy, an Arab guy, a Hispanic guy, or an Asian guy. He cannot see, that his woman is not dreaming of getting involved with a black man. She looks at this Negro now and she says to herself, now, this is not a man. This is what she's saying when she goes out here and writes these type of books, buys these type of books, because this is a booming market. But this Afro American Negro, because he cannot connect the dots, can't see that this is a booming market. I've been on Amazon, for 7 years, and I have watched, over the last 2 or 3 years that the interracial romance, sex genre has pretty much exploded. And Back in 2008, these kind of books were like one, maybe two, but these days there are literally hundreds of these books. That's why I say this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to these type of books. But many of your Afro-American Negroes can't see that. They're too busy, again, making these goofy response videos, declaring war on each other, declaring glaze on each other, arguing with each other, cracking on each other, going back and forth with each other, leaving thirsty comments on Facebook to pictures of big butt women who pretty much do not care that they even exist, or they are sitting here playing video games like some retarded child, you know, trying to see who's going to get the high score in Madam. And meanwhile, while he's doing all of this, his woman who is sitting at work is sitting there, flirting with these white bosses, flirting with these foreign store owners, and and thinking about relationships with other men, and then coming home to him to go get her iPad, go sit there or a Kindle, and sit there and read one of these interracial romance stories. That's what she is doing, and this Afro American Negro is completely clueless. He has no idea what's going on. Instead, he has no idea of what is transpiring right around him. Again, this is the subtle politics that's transpiring around him. This is what the art and the literature are telling us about the culture of this time. And he can't see, the commentary being made about him, which is basically an epitaph for this Afro American Negro. Your black woman is pretty much getting ready to write you off. And this Negro can't see it. He can't see the commentary being presented in his own art and his own literature because, again, he doesn't value art and literature. To him, art and literature are meaningless things. That's something considered white. And sadly, ironically, because he considers it white, he can't see that his black woman, is getting ready to go off to Swirl land to have a relationship with Mr. White. And that's going to be the end of him. He's just completely clueless to what's going on. He's sitting here, you know, has no understanding of what's going on. These images are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to what I've seen on Amazon, what I've seen on Kindle, and this is it's just from one or two Google searches. This is just a sampling of what came up. There are hundreds of these books out here. There are hundreds of them. And this Afro American Negro, you won't hear him say a word about any of this. I mean, your pro blacks who say they love black people, they won't say a single word about any of this. And this has been going on again, like I said. The first time I saw it was way back in 2008 or 2009. I saw these at the Harlem Book Fair at 2009. I saw them on Facebook around that time. And these books have been around for years, but you won't hear a single word from your pro blacks. You won't hear a declaration of war or a declaration of shine or a declaration of whatever regarding this type of literature. You won't hear, a word from any of these people on social media regarding this. This is going on, very quietly. And it goes back to something I read, regarding the silence of women. They said in this post that I read that, a quiet man is a man who thinks, but a quiet woman is a woman who's angry. And it's clear to me that, looking at these images and looking at, the commentary being made, that the Afro American Negro woman is mad at this Afro American Negro. And while she is angry, she is sitting here planning her exit from the relationship. She is planning to erase this Afro American Negro from her life, and she is planning on moving on. But this Negro, he just does not, he can't connect the dots. He can't use logic and reason. He can't see the trend that is going on with this swirling and these interracial romance books and these interracial, novelizations. And he can't see the commentary being made in the culture regarding him. He can't see the statement his woman is making. and the statement she is making in the future. Because again, your African American Negro woman is the teacher of culture, and she teaches her children. And she's basically, making a statement as the first teacher of culture that she is tired of the Afro American Negro. She is tired of being involved with the Afro American Negro. And the only option she sees for a so called good man or a man of character is not an Afro American Negro man. She's seeing her options as for marriage, relationships, romance. Her only options are white guys, Hispanic guys, Asian guys, and Arab guys. Those are the only guys she sees nowadays as viable as marriage material, as husband material, as a romantic interest or a love interest. Because I mean, when my family member told me about this and I saw, I had already knew about it, and I went back and I saw the explosion of these books, I looked at it and I said to myself, this is a profound statement on, the relationships between the genders in the African American Negro community. This is pretty much, the death knell. This is the nail in the coffin when it comes down to relationships. Because when you see almost all of these books written by Afro American women, that's a statement. Because again, I go back to 20 years ago, back in the 90s when your black woman was writing books saying that she was looking for a good black man. And now I go fast forward to today when she's saying that she wants to swirl, she wants to get herself a white guy, she wants to get herself an Asian guy, she wants to get herself a Hispanic guy. She is basically putting the nail in the Negro's coffin and putting the nail in writing the Negro's epitaph. She's pretty much saying, this is the end of the line. This is it, and she's getting ready to get ready to leave the kingdom. Meanwhile, the Negro is sitting up here admiring her as a queen, believing that she's some sort of goddess, and worshiping someone who is pretty much getting ready to forsake her. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.